So it's been 2 weeks since my last garden walkthrough. Let's see what's changed. We've harvested some strawberries, and it looks like we need to do some more. Acorn squash is growing nicely. These patty pans were tiny. They were smaller than the basil behind it. Now they're doing much better. Those squash have gotten much bigger as well. They're about ready to start climbing. I was worried about, I think this is the banana squash. This one I was worried about as well, but that seems to be doing nicely. And then the biggest change is my spaghetti squash, my small wonder spaghetti squash. Looking great. Had several flowers, male and female. Basil still looking good. All of my mammoth sunflowers are getting tall. They're almost, I want to say, 3 feet tall. These pole beans are just about ready to start climbing, and the zinnias in there have finally started putting on another set of leaves. We come over here. These are my silver slicers. I lost a couple of them, so I replanted. That one's almost ready to start climbing. We've got a couple sunflowers in the corners. My husband added some solar lighting in here. It looks really pretty at night. My first Anaheim pepper. I'll be pulling that off here soon. And the cherry tomatoes are getting taller. I'm finally supporting it. And I'll link those little tomato supports down, but I've got lots of little tomatoes on there. More peppers. Everything's looking great. This is one of my bush tomatoes, also looking great. You need to trim under them again. If you look under, you can see that squash is pulling. Oh, hey, lots of little tomatoes. I need to trim up the branches and leaves that are too long and make sure it's got plenty of airflow. Some of the plants are putting on peppers. And it looks like my cilantro is nearly done with bolting. That sage is looking really healthy. Let's go over to our sweet potato bed. So I still have these sugar snap peas. I didn't think they were going to do much of anything, but they have proved me wrong. We've got some pods on there. Haven't tried them yet because they'll probably be a little bit bitter, but I'll still give them a go. But there's lots of flowers still there and more strawberries that we can harvest. And I had to add more soil back here because it was a little low. Some of the plants I covered up quite a bit, but they're peeking back out. So far, this variety, no, put the name of it, is not doing the best. The other two, the one here in the center and that one way up in the back, is doing the best. We'll see how they actually produce though. They've only been in the ground for, I want to say, about a month. And the pole beans there along the back are just about ready to start climbing as well. They look happier than the other ones. I'm not sure why. And here, my honey nut squash. They're also nearly ready to start climbing. I am really excited for those because that's one of my favorite squashes. Oh, look. little tendril that we can train. Oh, nope, not quite tall enough. Still needs a few more inches, but we're almost there. And this one too? Yep, almost. So on this bed over here, it used to have watermelon right along here, but my two pups decided that they wanted to dig from here all the way back to that squash over there. So this whole area got dug up and I had to refill it, and I lost all of the watermelon plants. So I've planted pinto, and these say they're a pole variety, so I planted them to grow up the cattle panel. We'll see how they do. And in the process, the pepper that was here has been moved to over there. That poor pepper plant cannot get a break. I need to put something in here. I haven't decided what to do. But across the way, I have my honeydew, and then some of the new stuff coming up are replanted watermelons. So watermelon and little sugar babies together. And here I have a few different varieties of squash. We talked about them last time. Some are looking really great. That's the white long squash. And then I have some velvet sunflowers in here with some marigolds and some, I want to say, orange lime zinnias. So we'll see what those look like. But they're looking great. And some navy beans. Those are Black Beauty. And back there, I believe those are crookneck or straight neck yellow squash. My poor parsley has gone to seed. Well, it's about to bloom, but it's looking pretty good. And then oregano is struggling over here. I need to clean up those little tags. And over here, I've got my tomatillos barely doing anything. But maybe they'll do something. And then the tiny little eggplant, haven't done much of anything either. Tiny one right there, tiny one right there. And then back behind those, some of my tomatoes are doing pretty well. I tried moving some around that had two had sprouted at the same time, and some of those did not make it. But this side has some beautiful marigolds, got some bells growing, or bell pepper plants. I don't have any bells in there yet. But little babies. We'll see how they do. But hopefully these tomato plants grow. Maybe they'll just be my late crop. And I have some more climbing squash back there. And on the far back, we were just on that side, but on the far back, that's New Zealand spinach. And over there is American spinach. I'm surprised that's grown so well. It's been really hot. It's been in the 90s. Not really hot, that's normal for this time of year, but it's been in the 90s for a while. And here are some of my other sunflowers. They're starting to put the bloom on. That may be hard to see. And then these bells are starting to grow. Whoop. Little butterfly. What kind of butterfly? Or you will wipe them off. I'm not sure. These are my Parisian pickling cucumbers, and they are doing great. How they're climbing. I love to see how they wrap themselves around and climb up. And they're doing well. My little sunflower forest. So we've got some that are growing up with my second planting. And And then these bugs that are always on my sunflowers, no matter what I do. But here is another example of the bloom starting to pop up. These are my Kajari melons. And they have some little blossoms showing. This is a male flower. That's a male flower back there. I don't think you can see that. There you go. But hopefully soon the female flowers will start popping up. The coolest part, I think, about these sunflowers back there is how that one's split into two. The 2 for 1. And then this one, I'm pretty sure this is a chocolate cherry sunflower. And like the armpits between the stem and the leaves, we're getting some flowering areas growing there too. And it's almost with all of them. So that'll be fun to see how many flowers I actually get off of them. I love seeing sunflowers and watching them bloom. One of my favorite flowers. This one's going to be a big one. I am excited for that. All right. So that's what the garden is looking like now. Oh, there's a little ladybug. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of dark. Oh, there it goes. Oh, flew away. Bye, ladybug. Thanks for visiting. All right. So that is my garden today.
Have a good one.